Burning Crusade Time Walking, another event goes live. Look, we're waiting for 11.1. That's the real news. We do have some 11.1 updates to talk about when it comes to Mythic Plus, class tuning, delves, and a new splash screen. So let's get into this stuff. Here we go. Burning Crusade Time Walking now live. That's right, Burning Crusade Time Walking's now back. You can go do Black Temple and all that stuff. Of course, one thing to be noted here is we did get a bunch of new items when it came to time walking stuff, right, in the anniversary event. Well, all that stuff's coming back, so you can purchase a lot of these things, including the Reigns of the Amani Warbear, a bunch of other things. So all of these new and old, items that were made available during the anniversary event, you can still get them. So getting in here and doing some time walking might be a good thing to do, considering there really isn't much going on in the game right now, right? We're kind of just waiting for things to pass and waiting for an 11.1 update release date. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. Also this week, the War Within Weekly Dungeon event returns. That's right. That means you can earn heroic Narubar Palace raid loot from a cache by completing 4 dungeons. So that quest, you pick it up in Dornegal, go do your 4 dungeons, and you can get yourself some heroic raid loot. Not bad there. Good for people to catch up on things. So 3 heroic pieces this week, basically, yeah. So first look at the War Within Season 2 splash screens. Yes, so here it is, guys. We're going to see this month. Let's see what it's all about here. Delve developments, introducing new rewards, curios, and a new nemesis and an improved reward system at the highest difficulty. They're talking about the new, the fact that you can get crests out at level 11 delves and stuff like that. So that's great. Season 2 begins. Updated dungeon and PvP rewards, and an all new dungeon rotations. Operation Floodgrate is the new dungeon. That's right, so that should be good. And then Liberation of Undermine. Join the united cartels in freeing Undermine from Gallywix's clutches. So we got new delves, new season of Mythic Plus, and then of course, the new raid. That's the typical stuff. Now, when is this going to happen? We still don't know. Blizzard has yet to release a release date for this. Look, February 25th to me is the date. That's the final Tuesday of February. I still think that's the date we're going to get it. If Blizzard waits till next week, that's going to put them 2 weeks out from that date. Maybe they're going to give us a 2 week ahead of time announcement, build up all the hype, everyone comes back and plays it. But for right now, we are in a fucking lull. Okay, we got the Valentine's Day event, we got the Lunar Festival, and absolutely nothing else going on. So I'm waiting for this thing. I need something new and wow. Not going to lie, I'm itching here, and I feel like everybody else feels the same way, hence the reason why everyone's just kind of dicking around right now, not doing much in WoW, waiting for this patch, and that's not a problem. Season 2 Mythic Plus developments, we're going to get into this real quick. So, nerfs upon nerfs, okay? Blizzard's really trying to make Season 2 much easier. That's the common theme here. I'm not going to go through all these patch notes, but if I summarize it all, there's a lot of cast time reductions, a lot of number of mob reductions, mob damage reductions, what else is there? Ability reductions, damage from ability reductions, all kinds of stuff going on. Every single little patch note you see here is another nerf to one of these. So Mechagon Workshop, the Motherlode, Theater of Pain, Operation Floodgate, big nerfs across the board. They just want it to be easier, as it should be. Season 1 was a bit too difficult. I think they're going for more of a Season 3 Dragonflight, hopefully. Maybe that's what we're going to get out of this. Time for Furicus to get AOTC? Maybe time to run some alts, yeah. Moving on to delves. Okay, delves are getting a bunch of new reward systems. They're trying to make delves more rewarding, and at the same time, not as rewarding as, say, higher-end Mythic Plus dungeons. So there's a balance here they're trying to strike, and I think they're doing a decent job of it right now based on these notes. So, curio collecting, right? Collecting your curios, getting tier pieces and stuff like that. Obtaining a curio upgrade will always advance a curio's rank by 1 regardless of the completed delve tier. It will no longer be possible to attain a rank 4 curio without having obtained its previous ranks in order. So now you're just going to have to rank up. You're not going to be able to jump straight into a rank 4 curio. Players will still need to best higher delve tiers to unlock higher curios. To help balance this, curio upgrades can now also be obtained from a delve's heavy trunk. Oh, this the fuck's hammer time in me right now. Yeah, I just got hammered. Okay, MC hammered, great. Curio, as I was saying, to help balance this, curio upgrades can now also be obtained from delves, heavy trunks, and using restored coffer keys on bountiful coffers guarantees a curio to drop. So there you go. That's a way to get a guaranteed curio, get your tier pieces and all that stuff. Players will now be guaranteed to earn a Delver's Bounty after completing enough delves. However, only Delver's Bounty can be earned one per. You can only earn one per week. Okay, so only one per week. Delver's Bounty is that map that gives you the extra loot at the end of the delve. A lot of people, I guess, never got one. Like I said, I had 2 at once at one point. I got a couple of these, so I don't know how people missed out on them, but I guess they're taking out the RNG and basically guaranteeing the fact that you're going to get them. Yeah, edit that, you little bitch. Now I'll just leave it in there. Fuck it, I'm too lazy. 2 new treasure chests have been added to delves. The Underpins Powerful Underlings. So basically, Underpin is the new Zekvir. He's going to be putting out some underlings throughout your run. Remember when Zekvir had mobs? Underpin is going to have his little thugs running around the delve. The more of these thug groups you kill, the more you'll get loot at the end. So that's actually going to give you a chest, I believe, a Nemesis Strongbox. There's going to be up to 4 groups. If you kill all 4, you'll get the best possible loot you can get out of this Nemesis Strongbox. Another way to get additional loot. And then a Tier 11 Bountiful Delve treasure room now contains gilded stashes that you can be looted up to 3 times per week, giving you 7 gilded crests each time for a total of 21 gilded crests. So that's going to give you at least 1 upgrade. This should help give players a way to continue progress and power beyond the limits that were set up in Season 1. So yeah, giving people a way to basically Mythic progress without having to ever leave delves, if that's all you do. Now, of course, you're going to be behind people who are doing Mythic Plus or rating, but it's a way to still progress throughout the season. To smooth out item level progression and grant more opportunities for players to gain power beyond Tier 8 Delve item level, we've made the following changes. Tier 6 Bountiful Coffers now reward Veteran 2 of 8. Tier 8 Bountiful Coffers now give you Champions 2 of 8. And then Tier 8 Great Delves will now give you still your Volt heroic piece of gear, right? So that's still worth it to do a Tier 8 Delve. Of course, early on, you're going to be getting your heroic level raid gear. That's going to be very important from your Vault. Crest quantities. The number of crests earned from Tier 4 Delves and above has been increased. Delve Tier 9s and above now grant an increased number of Rune Crests, up to 13 per tier, and 11 Delve completed if you fully upgrade your Nemesis Strongbox. So there you go, more ways to earn crests and more crests to be earned. And then Delver's Bounty now grants an increased number of crests, up to 10 gilded crests for completing a Tier 11 Delve. That's big, 10 crests out of there, so that's a good way. Again, the common theme here, being able to upgrade gear and get more out of your delves. If that's all you're doing, this will give you a way to progress throughout the season. Season 2 looking so fucking good. Yeah, they're giving people a lot of players choices in terms of how they're going to gear out, and giving gear earlier on and giving crests early on rather than making you push deeper into things. Speaking of, getting things, right? A lot of this is going to be cosmetic related, but Blizzard dropped a blog about the cartels, right? So we know we're going to be aligning ourselves with 4 cartels. We got Bilgewater, Steamweedle, Blackwater, and the Venture Co. And really what you're going to get out of these, we got the whole renown track here now, is first of all, you'll be able to get this purple rocket at renown 19, I believe. This is called the Top Skimmer Special, a nice little change up on the, the Love Rocket. We've seen this before. And then if you look at basically what you're going to be getting out of these, you're going to be getting a renown track that gives you mostly just, whether it's cosmetic stuff for your new ride vehicle, whatever it's called, your drive vehicle. You're going to be getting a bunch of maybe quality of life things. You can do more with some of these guys, unlock a few vendors and stuff like that. And then there's Valor Stones and crests. Now, you're not going to be getting any gilded crests. I saw carved crests is the most you're going to get out of this thing. And then the rocket mount, and then the title, obviously, at the very end here, which is the explosive. But besides that, this is not a required thing to do, right? Because I hate required renown tracks, honestly, and I'm glad that Blizzard's making sure most of this is cosmetic. Again, you'll be able to get Valor Stones, which is kind of player power attached, but beyond that, that's really it. Maybe a few gear catch-up things for your alts and stuff like that, but still, really you're not going to have to do this to gear out at all. It's going to be mainly through Mythic Plus rating, and now Delves, much, much better. I need a lot of Time Warp badges. Yeah, so we're going to do some Time Warp stuff today. Don't worry about that. Besides that, doing your stuff with these guys should be just a passive thing that you grind out. Now, we talked about drive, delves, and everything else. There's a few things changed with drives, including how that works and basically how you're riding around, what it looks like when you hit things, all that stuff, speed resets and stuff like that. It looks much better and smoother. But there's also class updates. Let's get into these real quick. Death Knight. We got Unholy. Death Coil Reduction, 13%. Magnus of the Dead increased by 35%. Doom Biting now summons a Magus of the Dead for 6 seconds was 8. So a couple nerfs here, it looks like. Commander of the Dead now increases damage for Gargoyle by 45% was 35. So buffs and nerfs. Damage increased from the Gargoyle by 15%. It looks like actually they're trying to nerf Unholy's damage straight up, but then increase their pet damage. That's kind of what it looks like. Rider of the Apocalypse, all horsemen damage increased by 10%. Again, that's the theme here. Increasing the NPC's damage, but decreasing your own personal damage. We'll see how that balances out for Unholy. A Demon Hunter getting a ton of reworks. This is what this is all about, really. Demon Hunter getting the full, the full attention right now. Activating Vengeful Retreat now enforces a brief cooldown for Fellblade, similar to the behavior of Fell Rush. Activating Fellblade shortly after activating Vengeful Retreat now cancels Vengeful Retreat's movement if Fellblade's target is too close to dash. I know, some kind of movement update there. That's how that's going to work. Hero Talents, Fellscarred. Student of the Suffering bonus mastery value reduced by 33% and the duration reduced by 6%. Oh, that's a little nerf there. Havoc. Cycle of Hatred is now a 1-point talent, was 2, so that's better for your talent tree. Fellscarred. Demon Surge now causes Metamorphosis to increase Fury generated by Demon Blades by 3, was 5. Are you guys getting nerfed? Are Demon Hunters getting... What is this? Vengeance. Fallout chances to generate soul fragments has been increased at a lower target count, with 1 guaranteed soul fragment generated when striking a single target. Maximum possible remains 5. Feed the Demon is now 1 talent point, was 2. So you guys are getting a bunch of talent point changes. Feed the Demon now reduces the cooldown of Demon Strike by 0.35 seconds per soul, was 0.25, so that's a better thing for you guys. Fellscarred. Demon Surge, damage reduced by 20%. Burning Blades now deals 40% of the listed damage, was 50. And then fixed an issue for... Yeah, this is all nerfs, man. Oh, no. Demon Hunters. He won't remember anything he just read. Very true. Very true. I'm not sure. I know Achilles is out there. He plays Demon Hunter. I think Demon Hunters are kind of getting nerfed a little bit. I was expecting the opposite, honestly. Yeah, damage for them indeed. Okay, Evoker. Flame Shaper consumes flames. Consume flames will now properly have its radius increase when striking larger group of enemies. Consume flames now damage increased by 900%, was 750. And then fix an issue where engulf damage was being increased by the damage over time effects for Evokers. Flame Shaper looks much better, actually. Those are a couple buffs there. Augmentation. Upheavals from Liberation of Undermine 2-set bonus no longer increases duration from Ebb and Might. Okay, and then Devastation Fire Breath damage over time increased by 15%. Eternity Surge damage increased by 20%. And Scintillation, sounds like titillation, triggers Eternity Surge at 40%, was 50. Nice buffs for Devastation. Overall, looks like a buff for Evoker. Evoker's in a pretty good spot. Hunter, the darling of this expansion. Let's see if they're still the darlings. Dark Ranger, Black Arrow damage increased by 10%. Pack Leader damage reduced by 20%. Marksmanship, True Shot now increases your critical strike damage by 20, was 10. Mongoose Bite damage increased by 30. Raptor Strike damage increased by 10. Wildfire Bomb damage increased by 10. Man. And then Wyvern damage bonus increased by 15%, was 10. My God. Bonus. It's a good time to be a hunter. It's a good time to be a hunter. I don't know what else to say. I mean, they just keep getting buffed. They're just doing so good right now. My cousin was coming back. I told him play hunter because of this very reason. And then we got mage here. So we got, I think, 2 more classes. Arcane. Arcane Barrage increased by 20%. Intuition damage increased by 50%. And then we got Fire Unleashed Inferno. Damage bonus increased to 70%, was 60. Sky King's Blessing bonus reduced to 260%, was 280. That's not too bad. And then Hyperthermia Trigger is now increased. Okay, so mostly buffs. 1 tiny nerf there, but looking good for Fire Mage and Arcane Mage. Frost. Wintertide, I should say, has been updated. Now grants 2 to 4% increased Icicle and Glacial Spike damage, stacking up to 2 times. Glacial Spike no longer consumes Wintertide. Fine. And then Spell Slinger. Orbs Frost Splinter generated reduced to 4, was 5. Spell Frost Teachings chances is triggered at 2%, was 2.5. If I had to say an overall here, buffed. Yeah, buffed. Arcane Fire and Frost all looking much better. Arcane I've said it before, Hunter, Mage, Shaman, all looking really good. Here are the last couple ones here. Paladin, Retribution, Crusade will now consistently display the correct spell visuals. That's fine. Priest, Casting Power Infusion now adds a duration of current power infusion when using Liberation of Undermined 4-set bonus up to maximum 30 seconds. That's just fixing how the tier set works. Rogue, Hero Talents, Deathstalker fixed several issues with singular focus that prevented its application from being reliable. So there you go, a fix there. Shaman, Enhancement. Liberation of Undermined 4-set. Each stack of Electrostatic Wager will now increase the damage of the Crash Lightning by 18%, was 24, so that's a little bit of a nerf. I know that Shamans were doing amazing, so I don't think this is going to bother Enhancement too much. It's actually one of the best DPS specs in the game right now. And then Liberation of Undermined 4-set, Electrostatic Wager will now only increase its initial damage of Crash Lightning. So Crash Lightning, I think, was just hitting way too hard. That shit was blasting people, so it looks like a little bit of a nerf in how it interacts with the tier set bonus. And then Stormbringer Awakening will now grant Tempest every 4, was 3. And then Volcanic Surge now increases the damage of Crash Lightning and Chain Lightning by 10%, was 15. So nerfs for Shamans. Nerfs for Shamans. Chat is so rude. I don't know, chat's good. Chat's just doing their thing. Here's the thing. Shaman's in such a good spot right now that I guarantee you these nerfs are not going to drop you from the top spot, so I wouldn't worry about it. That's the truth. It is what it is, but you're going to get nerfed when you're at the top, but these guys are still going to be at the top. Warlock, Destruction. Fixed an issue where the Liberation of Undermined 4-set bonus was providing higher mastery than intended, and the Liberation of Undermined here 4-set bonus now grants 2% mastery when Jackpot happens, was 3%. So, yeah, some retuning on their tier set bonuses. And then, last but not least here, Warrior. Arms. Fixed an issue that causes Colossal Smash and Warbreaker visual to not display correctly, so that's just a visual thing. And then Protection. Okay, what do they do to Protection? It's a very active spec, requires constant decision making, This is their philosophy here. What's the actual changes? Chance to reset the cooldown for Shield Slam and Devastator and Strategist reduced to 25%, was 20. Okay, so a chance to reset the cooldown. It looks like it was increased. Why does it say reduced? Increased to 25%, should say. Okay, so that seems fine. Ignore Pain icon now displays the remaining absorb amount. That's good for visual purposes. And then Punish reduces damage the punished target deals to you by 3%, was 4. So that's a little bit of a nerf. I don't know what to say about Warriors. I feel like they just kind of got played around with a little bit. Not much going on here. That is all really in terms of class changes. One thing that'll remain consistent with these class changes, they will continue to change until the patch hits. So it is what it is. At the end of the day, patch 11.1 hitting at the end of the month. We'll see. We'll continue to track these class changes as they come out. DPS charts and everything will be changing. We'll look at all that when it finally hits. I still say end of February, but that is all in terms of news.